Thank you so much for joining in early. We will be starting the session right on time. Meanwhile, I'm Rasha Khan and I'm joining all the way from Bangalore, India. Would love to know where are you joining us from on the chat here. Let me also quickly put down my introduction. As this is a global webinar as well, you'll be seeing a lot of folks joining from different parts of the world, and that makes the session even more interesting, right? You get to basically, join this very amazing and interesting career masterclass we have lined up for you. So before we start the session, let's just quickly start with a quick round of introductions here. I'm just quickly dropping my introduction on the chat here, and we are also live on our YouTube channel as well. So folks who have joined us there, please do drop in your introductions on the YouTube live chat box. We are also actively looking into the YouTube live chat box as well. So if you have joined us there, and also whether you're an early bird or a night owl, so everyone is welcome here. So please do share your introduction with your name and where are you joining us from the chat here. So just like the way I've shared here. So yeah. Also, how are you doing? So how are you doing as well? Awesome. I see a lot of introductions have already started coming in. I see Norma has joined us from Uganda. Sigun has joined us from Nigeria. Please apologize me if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. Regina has joined us from Canada. Roswell has joined us from GA. Not sure what is GA.
Might be Georgia.
Okay. Edmonton has joined us from Canada, and I see someone has joined us from UK, Pasadena, California. Someone has joined us from. Okay, would love to know your names as well, folks. It's sometimes really hard to make out your name from email IDs. I see Edward has joined us from Ghana, and a lot more introductions coming in. That's great. I see Marur Gul has joined us from Pakistan. Says doing well. How are you? I'm doing great. Excited for the session today. We have a very interesting topic today for the career masterclass. So the modern day business analyst role, AI tools and techniques for success, and we will be basically also covering the Purdue University's postgraduate program in business analysis, followed by the topic. So in case you have any questions about the topic or the program, we are open in the Q&A box. You can go and quickly share your questions there. Meanwhile, please keep the introductions coming in. I'll just quickly take you through the few quick ground rules we have here for this session. So this session is powered by Simplilearn, world's #1 online bootcamp. We have been in the digital skills space for more than a decade now, and we are very proud that we have transformed lives by empowering people via these skills. And today, the skill we'll be talking about is the business analysis skill, and the program will be covering. We have a few ground rules here you will have to follow for you to have an amazing experience. So in case you have any questions, as I mentioned earlier, you can put down your questions in the Q&A box. During the topic, maybe if you want to interact with the expert, Brian, you can message on the chat. But during the program, you will have to put it in the Q&A box because we wouldn't want to miss your questions. As you can see, people are messaging a lot on the chat box and attendance is also high. So we might miss your questions. So for that, please make sure to move it to the Q&A box, and whenever the expert gets time, he will look into it and basically address your queries. And the session is being recorded in case you want to go through the recording of the session once again, in case you miss anything. So please don't worry, you can expect a follow-up email from us with the recording link to view. And also, there'll be a webinar certificate for attending the webinar. For that, you'll have to stay till the end. So the session is 60 minutes long. And after 60 minutes, I will be basically launching a webinar poll, which will be asking you for your full name, which you'll have to provide us in order to send you the webinar certificate. So please stay for that in case you basically want the webinar certificate. And also, in case you have just joined right now, because I saw the number was increasing while I was speaking, a lot of new folks have joined in. Please don't worry, we're just doing a quick round of introductions on the chat here. And I was just quickly taking them through the ground rules. I'll nudge about the ground rules on the chat as well. In case you have any questions, I'm there on the chat. I'm a part of the audience. So I'll be with you. and I'll help you out. And this is how the certificate looks like. And basically, you'll be getting the certificate of participation. Your name will be here. This is what I need from you. And this is for the topic today we will be covering. And it will be shared by Simplilearn, as you can see. So people are already sharing the certificates on Simplilearn. And you can also tag our Simplilearn handle and also our expert Brian Campbell. People are already sharing, and they are also sharing insights and screen grabs, screen videos as well, and basically tagging Simplilearn and using a lot of insights about the session, and people are coming and supporting them. So why share the certificate or insights about the session? Because you're attending a very latest webinar on business analysis, and why not share it with your network, right? So, and also people are using the hashtag SimplyPro. I'll share the link on the chat here in some time, so you can also check out what others are posting and support them as well. Also, before we start the session, just quickly checking, is my sound basically audible to you? Is my voice clear? And also if the screen is visible to you. You can just reply by saying yes or no on the chat. Awesome. Thank you so much. Folks who are facing any issue with sound or screen, uh, might be a technical issue. Maybe just check it from your end. Maybe you can leave it once or join back again. Can be a network issue as well at your end. So please don't worry. In case you miss anything, we will be sending the recording as well after the webinar. So you can go through it again as well. But please try rejoining in case you're facing any technical issues, and please feel free to point out in case during the session if you don't are not able to hear us, or the screen is not visible to you. So I'll help you out immediately. Now starting with the agenda of today's session. The first and the most important agenda of today's session is about you, getting to know a little bit about you and how we can help you out in your career better. And we'll be covering the career masterclass topic today, the modern day business analyst role, AI tools and techniques for success, and also followed by the postgraduate program in business analysis by Per University. We'll be doing a program review of this Per University program, and talking about what exactly this program offers, how exactly this program gets you job ready, and also taking you through the enrollment steps based on the interest you share towards enrollment. And the last but not the least, the Q&A. So the Q&A is in the end. So throughout the session, if you have any questions, you can go through the basically a webinar and put down your questions in the Q&A box. Now, where exactly is the Q&A box? Right now, where we can see your amazing introductions and messages. That is the chat box, and Q&A is just beside the chat box in case you've joined from your laptop or desktop. And if you joined from your mobile, you will see on the top. So I hope you're able to find it. And I see folks are sharing email IDs. We do not need that. We already have your details. So there is no requirement for email IDs. I see someone also sharing. Please go slower. I'll go slower. So sorry. Try to keep the pace a little slower. Awesome. Awesome. Let's start with our expert introduction here, Brian Campbell. Brian, it's always a pleasure hosting you. A very good morning to you. And we have a very interesting topic lined up for today, followed by the Purdue University program review. Would you like to introduce yourself to the audience here before we start the session?
Absolutely. Yes, thanks so much, Rasha. It's great to spend some more time together. And I agree, we've got a very exciting, very contemporary topic that I think we're going to have some fun with. So it's wonderful to see so many people joining us from around the world. If I can, just want to make a quick shout out to my supporters and fans and all those that are out there. But more importantly, if you're living in Edmonton, Alberta, I used to live in Edmonton. Go Oilers! So this is a big hockey game. Time of year for us, Stanley Cup Finals. Also noticed there's some from Botswana. So I used to live in Botswana for many years when I was young, a young boy. So a lot of fondness for my country. So I love these sessions because there's just so many people from around the world. It always kind of makes me smile when I see where everyone's from. So yes, a little bit about me. I work in the project, program, and agile domains. So I work a lot with large organizations who are implementing typically bigger, more complex solutions and products. So project management skills and agile skills, which really focus on creating high-performing teams, are very valuable. And you might anticipate then, as a consequence, gathering requirements, understanding the scope of work, is incredibly important. So I spend a lot of time in the business analysis domain because it's so important to successfully delivering value to organizations and their customers. So this has been something I've been doing for over 25 years now. You can see some of the companies I work with. Generally speaking, these are very large. They are many different industry areas, verticals. I also work a lot with the organizations that establish some of the credentials for these areas like project management. So I work a lot with the Project Management Institute, some of the Agile certification areas as well. So, and of course, I work a lot with Simplilearn, so developing content and helping out with these kind of events. So I've been very fortunate to have partnered with them. Gosh, I don't even know how long it's been, Rasha. I think over 8 years now, really, since Simplilearn kind of got started here. So it's been a fantastic experience. And I have my own company, so pretty familiar with, sort of managing all the aspects of having your own organization. So, and I'm based in Houston, Texas, so not much hockey happens down here. So I've been watching and enjoying the hockey games in the Stanley Cup here. So that's it. That's it for me. So back over to you, Rasha.
Thank you so much, Brian, for your introduction. And yes, let's start the session. But before that, as I mentioned, that we'll be getting to know a little bit about you. Yeah, so let's start with a quick poll here. And let me just quickly launch the poll. And we would love to know how many years of experience do you currently have? Okay. Yeah. The first option here is less than 2 years. Second one is 2 to 5 years. And the third one is 6 to 10 years. And the fourth one is more than 10 years. So you can select the option which is the most suitable to you. And when I talk about work experience, it is your general work experience. We are not talking about a business analyst work experience here. I see someone responding on the chat here. I'm old as gold. Still would love to know your experience. Okay, the audio is not clear. Again, like maybe like Brian, once you start speaking, we can check the audio once again. I think few folks are not able to hear us.
Okay.
Awesome. Let's give like 10 seconds more for the poll. I see most of you have responded for the poll here. Oh, great. I can see one message I can hear. Good to know. Okay, increase volume. Okay. Awesome. Last 5 seconds for the poll here, folks. I see most of you have responded. So last 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me end the poll and also share the results with you folks. Let's see what have you voted for. 36% of you have less than 2 years of experience. 22% of you have 2 to 5 years of experience. And 14% of you have 6 to 10 years of experience. And 28% of you have more than 10 years. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And I see few responses on the chat here as well. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Now moving on to the topic of today's session. The second agenda, talking about the modern day business analyst role, AI tools and techniques for success. So over to you, Brian.
Thanks, Rasha. Yes, so this is a really exciting topic, and I did see that we've got kind of a range of experience. It does seem we're leaning a little bit more on people a bit newer in their career. And actually, I think this is going to speak quite a bit to where you are. You're going to hopefully learn and apply some ideas and techniques that are going to help you as you grow into your career. For those that have a little bit more experience in this area or interested in getting into this area, these are some pretty exciting new tools that I think you're also going to be very interested in hearing a bit more about. So, yeah, we can move on to the first slide. And we can start digging into what is sort of the role of AI in business analysis. Now, this is a pretty big topic area, so we don't have an inordinate amount of time, so I'm going to kind of narrow our focus a little bit. But one of the more important things of the role of the business analysis is really working with stakeholders to understand and document the requirements. And then that intent behind that is allow the project and product teams to build those solutions that support these requirements. So really important, business analyst is the one that's really connecting with all the people that are interested in the outcomes, the deliverables of that product or project area. So generally speaking, business analysts have really good skills in communication and documentation. They tend to be kind of structured. They're familiar with using different techniques to gather those requirements, and then really almost translate business requirements into a form that technical teams can understand, and then they can use that to build out the solution. Now, a lot of the challenge that often comes in this space is that translation. How do you take some business idea and translate it into a structure that a team can quickly understand, and then they can confirm that they know how to do the work, and then build it in a way that you can validate and accept. Now, there's often different formats that exist to help with documenting requirements, but one of the most popular is one called the user story format. And this is very prevalent in the agile domain. So if anyone's working on teams that are using Scrum or Kanban or any of those more agile-oriented practices, you've probably come across user stories. And there's a lot of good reasons to use user stories. One powerful reason is that they're generally lightweight. You're not spending so much time kind of detailing out every aspect of a requirement. You're really instead focusing on who's the customer or the user, who's going to get benefit or value from this, what is it that they're trying to do, and why. Why do they want to do it? And just armed with those three pieces of information, you can really get a good sense of what the requirement is. You know who it's for, so this tells you who you can work with to get additional information or answer questions. You know what it is they're trying to do, and more importantly, why they want to do it. So we want to kind of make sure that we're getting just enough information that we have those sort of criteria addressed, and then let the team decide how to do it. So the team's a little bit focused on the how part of this. Customer is going to focus on the why. Business analyst brings those together. And you can see the format at the bottom. It says, as a user, I want to do something so that I can get a result. So that's generally speaking what a user story looks like. And probably as we look at this, most of us, even if you're not very familiar with user stories, you can probably look at that and say, yeah, I get it. Looks pretty straightforward. But you might be surprised. It's actually a little harder than it looks. Just like anything, you might watch your favorite sports team, like a hockey team, playing hockey and think, oh, that looks pretty simple. They're just, skating, moving a puck with their stick. But when you actually do it yourself, you discover it's very, very demanding and challenging. Similarly, when we're crafting our requirements, it's also quite challenging at times. And a great deal of the time I spend with teams in organizations is actually in this space around the requirements. And not only are requirements difficult to write and make sure that teams understand, but when you don't do a good job of that, what often happens is that teams commit to work that they don't fully understand, which means it takes them longer to get it done. So if you're a senior leader that's maybe funding a product or project and some enhancements or some new deliverables, you want to understand, when are you going to get that return? When will something be finished so you can release it and get value? And when teams struggle with getting things done on time, it just increases additional costs, things that we didn't anticipate. It's going to take longer, so we've got to get the team more engaged over a longer period of time. That increases costs. We miss out on opportunities. So there's a lot of really important reasons why we want to make sure we get our requirements well understood, but they do take some time. So if we move to the next screen, Rasha, we'll just dig into user stories just a little bit more before we turn our attention to maybe some ways in which we can leverage AI to help with this. So one of the things that a good user story includes, and we saw sort of the structure, but it also needs to be paired with acceptance criteria. So what are acceptance criteria? These are really just the success criteria. How do we know that we're finished, that we've satisfied that user story? Here's the things that we would expect to see if the team said that work was done. And acceptance criteria are really important because they tell us how do we communicate back with our stakeholders, our customers, our users that the work is finished. It's a way in which we can kind of honor that contract about here's the requirement you asked for, we finished it, and we can prove it. So acceptance criteria are really important. And in fact, there's another format that's very popular called Gherkin. It's a little bit more oriented to programming. So if you're writing software, you can write those acceptance criteria in this Gherkin format, and you can see the structure there. It says, given some condition, when these other conditions have been met, then we can do something and do something else, but maybe we won't do something, or there's some other constraint that we need to be aware of. So this structure has not only some benefit in making sure acceptance criteria are a little easier to kind of test, but even get to the point that we can automate the testing. And that's super powerful too, right? Because now we've written a requirement, and anytime we change anything, we can automate our test to prove that that still works the way we expect it. And then we can't lose sight of those stakeholders. And sometimes as a business analyst, when you're thinking about who you should work with to gather requirements and define these acceptance criteria, you might not always know where to start, who should be part of that. So we've got a few ideas that are starting to tee up here. These are very conventional questions that are asked by all business analysts in all industries, in all organizations. So now let's pivot over and take a look at ChatGPT. And this is where I might need your help, Rasha. I guess I'm going to need to be able to present.
Sure. I'll stop sharing and you can present your screen.
Awesome. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take us right out to something all of us have probably heard a little bit about before, which is ChatGPT. And it's going to kind of give us an opportunity to learn and see a little bit more about these practices, these techniques. Now, what I find interesting about this topic, Rasha, is that, and we've been doing this for a while, a year ago, I don't even think this really would have been on the radar. I mean, this has not only come at us very quickly, but it's been embraced very widely. So all the organizations I work with, every single one of them is working with and finding ways to get AI implemented in their enterprise. They see so much opportunity and value there. So I think this is very exciting. These are things that we just haven't seen up to this point. So if you're new into your career, this is a great time to start learning more about AI and how to leverage it. If you're a little bit more established in your career, well, this isn't going away, so this is a good time also to start learning more about it. So here we are. This is just the open AI that we've all heard about, ChatGPT engine. Okay, so I'm just using a free account, nothing extra special here. And I'm going to just, I ran a little practice session, but I'm going to just pop this in. I'm going to say, can you write relevant user stories for a feature that allows users to upload and manage images to a web app? So let's see what it says. Yeah, certainly. Here's some detailed user stories for a feature. Here we go. It's uploading the user or creating these stories. And we've got, I'll just slow down a little bit here. So the very first one is upload images. As a user, I want to upload images to the web app so I can store and manage my images online. Okay, that fits the format. Oh, and look what it did here. I actually asked it to do this before. So now it's adding the Gherkin level detail. So given the user's on the image upload page, when the user selects an image file from their device, and if the user clicks the upload button, then the image is uploaded successfully and the user receives a confirmation message. So this becomes a very clear set of instructions that a developer can look at, can understand. Now, it's not telling the developer how to do this. Okay, that's up to them. They get to decide, what programming language and tools and frameworks and, hosting products to use, but it gives them a very good understanding of what success looks like. And it even gives a scenario where we upload an image with an unsupported format. Again, the steps there with the given when ends. And then finally, we see then the user receives an error message indicating an unsupported file format. Because sometimes we have to think about those corner cases or those branches where we don't get success. So we scroll down here, you see it did a great job, right? It's got, hey, you got to upload an image. You might want to view the image, view uploaded images, organize images into albums. Hey, that's a great idea when we all kind of want to group our photos into things like albums. That sounds very logical. You might want to edit the image details, add descriptions, tags, other information. Again, that seems very sensible. Maybe you want to delete an image. You don't need it any longer. That should be included. You might want to share your images to other people. You might want to upload more than one image at a time, a bulk upload. You might want to search for your images, and even some thought about privacy. Maybe some of these images you don't want people without the right permissions able to access, so want to make sure they're protected. So all these are pretty good starting points. And you can imagine if you're a business analyst that we're starting a project, this exercise would probably have taken you quite a bit of time. You might, in fact, have pulled people into a great big, conference room. You get a whiteboard, you'd be putting stickies on there, trying to think about what are these different use cases, user stories. And here we have a tool that very quickly, very easily helps us identify what the stories are, and even puts them into a format that we can leverage to both understand those requirements, but maybe even automate them from a software development perspective. So you see how quickly and easily it was able to do that. Now, we mentioned something that's also very important for an analyst is who are the stakeholders involved? Well, I don't know. Let's see if we can ask ChatGPT to help with this. Can you identify some potential stakeholders to work with on defining these requirements? Okay, simple. Just who are the potential stakeholders? Yeah, let's it says, yeah, let me give you a bit of a hand here. So, okay, internal stakeholders. These are people within the organization, product managers, development team members, design team, marketing and sales, customer support, legal and compliance, the security team, and of course, business analysts, operations, accessibility advocates. See, I would not have thought about that one, but that's a great observation. How do we make this accessible to people? Now, what about external users or stakeholders? Well, we got our end users. They're going to be important. Let's make sure we're thinking about what those end users might be. We've got general users, just sort of people that are just using it on a more casual basis, and then maybe professional users, designers, photographers, and other professionals. Partners. Maybe we want some third-party service providers, cloud storage, image processing, sharing function. Maybe we don't want to build those. We can partner with those other companies. Regulatory bodies, there could be some compliance issues we need to be aware of. So a lot of times, this exercise of identifying stakeholders can be quite time consuming. And a lot of times there's many stakeholders we have to give thought to. So we might want to use ChatGPT to kind of give us a little bit of a head start, giving some deeper thought to who should be involved here. And you saw how easy it was to frame up the question, right? We just ask a pretty open-ended question. It comes back with some ideas and examples. And then we can use that to kind of help us dig into this a little bit further. So that's, just a quick example of ChatGPT. And now there are many other competing products that are starting to get introduced into the market. I can't really speak to which one of them is better than the others. I'd encourage you to kind of test and check. What I think is kind of exciting is, for the most part, many of these are free and available. There's other areas in which we can use ChatGPT. Some of you, or I guess I should call them these AI engines. One area that I'm experimenting with in one of the larger enterprises I'm working with is using AI within your meetings. And what it has been absolutely phenomenal with is capturing the discussions, the conversations in an hour-long Teams meeting, packaging that up in a structured way, and then using that as a way to kind of provide meeting minutes along with follow-up tasks and activities that are assigned to people. And if anyone has been a business analyst for any length of time, that is probably one of the harder part of the job is you brought a lot of people into a room, you've had some really good conversations. How do we track the discussion, the decisions, and the follow-up activities? So you're already starting to see a big role of AI in helping with that, which is, again, is going to be very impactful for anyone in the role of a business analyst. I think I can, let me just show this last screen here, and then I'll hand things back to you, Rasha, and we'll just pop that in slideshow mode here. So just to close a little bit on leveraging AI as a business analyst. So one thing just to recognize is AI is already at a point where it can just take on most of those administrative activities that a business analyst used to perform in the past and just greatly simplify them. Okay. It's important to recognize, however, that we can not and never will be able to substitute AI for the analytical skills of a business analyst. Okay. Now, it's going to give you a good start, and it's probably going to shorten the duration it takes to do a lot of activities. But at some point, we really need the skills that business analysis provides to kind of help us move this forward into that point where we can actually craft requirements that we can do work. So use it as a starting point, have it check your ideas, maybe even reformat ideas into more structured formats. You can kind of give it something and say, hey, write this as a user story, or put this to a Gherkin format acceptance criteria, which just takes some of the time out of that activity. But I do want to ensure that you don't sort of leave thinking, oh my gosh, this thing is going to do everything for us. We don't need business analysts anymore. No, in fact, always check what AI has created. It can and it does get it wrong. I used a pretty simple example that was pretty well defined. I don't think even any relatively new business analysts probably be able to capture those kind of requirements quickly. But in domains that are more complex, you probably won't get as much advantage using AI, but it will certainly give you a start. But check it, validate it. Certainly don't just let it out before you've had a chance to review it yourself. But use it as a tool, just as it's intended, to kind of give you that kickstart, that starting point that you can build upon. All right, so Rasha, there we go. That's a quick overview of where AI is and some ways we can use it in the business analyst domain.
Sure. Thank you so much, Brian, for taking us to the topic. Let me share back my screen. Yep. So yeah, now that we have covered such an interesting topic, we can clearly see with the amount of questions we have been getting in the Q&A box as well, that you folks are interested in the business analyst field or the role, and you want to explore more about it. So we would love to know what exactly is stopping you from becoming an expert business analyst here. So I've just launched a poll. This one is a multiple choice poll. So you can select multiple options because there can be multiple challenges or concerns, right, when it comes to pursuing a career or expertise in business analyst role, right? So I'll just read out these options for you. The first one here is I can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum. And the second one, I don't have the practical exposure I need to become job ready. And third one, I find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos. And the fourth one, my work schedule won't allow me enough time for learning. I see most of you have started responding. That's great, but let's give other folks time here. Let's give 10 to 15 seconds more. And folks who are watching this live on our YouTube channel, you can also let us know by replying on the chat, YouTube live chat box. Also, if these are not your concerns or your challenges, the Q&A box is open for you. And we have already started getting, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of interesting questions here. And whenever our expert Brian, gets time, he will be addressing those questions either in the Q&A box, or he'll be taking up live. So yeah, if it is not answered immediately, please don't worry. We'll answer it towards the end. We have a Q&A, session planned for that, so we don't miss any of your queries here. Awesome. Last 5 seconds for the poll here, folks. I see most of you have responded. So what's stopping you from becoming an expert business analyst? Last 5 seconds. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I will be sharing the results as well. Thank you so much for sharing your responses here. Let's see what have you voted for. I see 59% of votes for I don't have the practical exposure I need to become job ready. Completely makes sense. And I think I've gotten highest amount of votes for this. And 32% is for I can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum. And 15% is for I find it difficult to learn from pre-recorded videos. and 23% is for my work schedule won't allow me enough time for learning. So thank you so much once again for sharing your challenges here to this poll, and also through the Q&A box. Please keep them coming. Please keep sharing it away. Also, to start with, now, I think one of the basically options which we have, right? Like we can't find a program with a fully comprehensive curriculum, Brian. So, what exactly is an ideal program? If you can, like just share your comment on that.
Right. Yeah, and I think we see some good bullets here to kind of help us with this. But when looking at a program, and this is one of the questions in the Q&A, you really want to start with a strong foundation. And what are the fundamentals that are going to help enable you in this career? There are well-defined industry standards that have been developed both through the Project Management Institute, Business Analysis Institute. Both of those have defined some really good practices and frameworks. So making sure whatever learning you're taking is supported by these standards becomes very important. Next thing is most of us learn better through practice, right? So finding offerings that include labs, hands-on projects, really let you kind of build those business analysis muscles by practicing. You also want to ensure that you've got very strong leaders and in the training delivery capacity, people like myself who will be teaching the courses, being available to provide help, support, and assistance. Live virtual classrooms, I think, are really important, particularly with instructor and peer interaction. So you just don't always want to see recordings. Sometimes it helps ask questions and hear someone actually talk about these topics. And then also for many of you, I suspect you are working professionals, and you've got to balance taking these kind of courses with maybe your work schedule. And maybe some of you are also have families and other commitments outside of work. So having something that's a flexible tool and product and offering is really important to enable your learning as you start shifting out of sort of your full-time school learning mode into more of a work mode that you've got to blend in these learning opportunities.
Thank you so much, for sharing that, Brian. I think that definitely helps the learners out here. Now, quickly introducing you to the Purdue University Professional Certificate Program in Business Analysis. So this basically program is accredited by IIBA, International Institute of Business Analysis, and also in collaboration with Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. We'll be talking more about that. What are these collaborations here? This program by Purdue University comes with an industry-aligned learning path. We'll be deep diving into the learning path and showing you how exactly you can build your business analysis skills step by step through this program. And also it has integrated hands-on labs and projects. So I think we got the highest amount of votes for, you wouldn't get the practical exposure you need to become job ready, right? So how exactly this program helps? So we have those, projects and labs which you can work on. And those are pretty hands-on. We'll be talking more about that. And also the interaction here in this program is live. And most of the basically classes are virtual classrooms. And I'll be showing you how exactly the learning management systems look like, basically what happens once you take up the program from Simplilearn and what kind of environment is provided, where you can access the learning path, what are the things, labs, projects provided, many more things to be covered there. And the program duration for this is 6 months. You can just complete by giving 5 to 10 hours per week. Keep considering that you might be a working professional and you might have other commitments, as Brian mentioned. Also, what exactly you'll be getting from this program. So you'll be getting a Purdue Business Analyst postgraduate certificate, as you can see here on the screen. And also, you can see this is to certify. Your name will be here, John Doe, and it has been completed for the postgraduate program in business analysis. It is basically accredited by Simplilearn and Purdue University combined. And in this program, you'll be getting access to 14 hands-on projects and integrated labs. We have capstone projects in 3 different domains and masterclasses by Purdue University and industry expert, and also a career and job assist program. So we'll be talking more about that in detail. But before that, what exactly is the Purdue advantage here? So the Purdue University advantage here, I don't know if you know that Purdue is a 150-year-old university, and it has consistently ranked in one of the top public US universities. And the Purdue University faculty and alumni have won Nobel Prizes, Pulitzer Prizes, and other prestigious awards. And also having a Purdue University on your CV is an occasion recognized worldwide. Now, talking about the eligibility and prerequisites. So you need to have a bachelor's degree in any discipline with 50% or higher marks, GPA of 2.0 or above, and you need to have at least 2 years of work experience. And you can be from a programming or non-programming background, that's totally okay. Also, starting with how exactly this program by Purdue University prepares you, starting with the skills which are needed to basically become a business analyst expert. So, Brian, what are the skills basically which are covered in the program, and how exactly these skills, help the learners, build this basically skill step by step to become an expert here to the program?
Yeah, that's a great question. And you can see there's a lot of bullets on this page because a business analyst needs a pretty rich set of skills so they can understand what it is that needs to be built and delivered. So at its core, this is all about business analysis. What do we mean when we say business analysis? It's really understanding, is the return worth the investment? That's the business analysis. So business analysts are spending time really understanding what's the opportunity, or maybe what problem it is that we're trying to solve, and what's the best way to solve that in a way that delivers maximum business value. So to do that, you're going to have to collaborate with stakeholders. We saw in our ChatGPT example, who are the stakeholders we should work with? Well, that's the collaborative part of this. The elicitation part is us gathering the requirements and documenting them. And we see BRD, FRD, SRS, document creation. These are just terms that talk about business requirements documents and functional requirements documents and system requirements specifications, different types of documents we're going to create so other teams can understand them, build functionality. We might need to analyze those requirements. What does that mean? Well, you saw the user story format. Let's take those requirements, put them in that format. Let's use that Gherkin style format for acceptance criteria. We need to think about how we're going to plan for this. When should we gather requirements? We don't want to do it so far in advance, but the time we start doing work, the requirements have changed. How do we monitor the status of our requirements? How do we manage that life cycle from discovery to analysis to implementation, testing, validation? You can see a lot more down there. One thing, obviously, ChatGPT, generative AI, that's going to be very valuable. We just saw it in action. And on the right-hand side, dashboarding. Okay, how do we build a dashboard that maybe helps us understand both at the requirements delivery level, how are we progressing, but maybe we need dashboards to be built to understand information. How many people are using the system? Where are they spending their time primarily? What kind of features are being used? And how do we visualize that in a way that we can help stakeholders understand how people are using the product, what the product is producing? You're also going to have to be familiar with some practices and techniques, things like Scrum. If you're in the Agile space, what artifacts are produced in Scrum, things like managing a backlog and creating those user stories. Statistical analysis, you might need to lean on some of your analytical skills. Now, you heard Rasha say you don't need to be a coder, but you want to have some skills that allow you to kind of use tools like Excel and analyze data so you can maybe create reports and things like that. Now we might need to tap into some databases to extract information. We might need to even use some lightweight scripting languages to kind of extract something, maybe format it in a way that we can create a report from, and then do the data analysis on that. And then finally, business analysts are often at the forefront of topics like digital transformation. How do we move organizations away from more manual processes into more automated digital software-driven processes? So many different things that you'll get to work in and learn about as a business analyst. So this is part of what makes this a really exciting area for people, because it's always changing and shifting. You're constantly learning different parts of the organization, and that can feel really fulfilling.
Thank you so much, Brian, for taking us through these skills here. Brian has already started addressing your questions in the Q&A box. I see a lot of questions which are popping up in the chat box as well. So please make sure to move them to the Q&A box. Also, moving on, how exactly this program by Purdue University builds the learners, business analytics skills step by step. Starting with, we have an induction session and moving on with the steps here. Brian.
Yeah, of course. So exactly as you said, this is sort of stepping stones, and we start with foundation. And I think an important part of what this program offers that I think is really impactful is this idea that you've got this induction session. You're going to come in as part of a cohort. So you're going to be with a group of people, very similar backgrounds and experiences, but all interested in the same outcome, learning about business analysis. So you're going to be learning together, and you'll have this peer group, and that's something you can leverage going forward into the future as part of your network. Step one, let's focus on that foundation, that certified business analysis professional. So you not only will learn all the sort of fundamentals of being an effective business analyst, but get a certification through that. That's going to demonstrate that you really understand and know them. Then we're going to start introducing some tooling. Excel is such a powerful tool. Business analysts use the Excel extensively, so we're going to get you really comfortable with that. SQL, a lot of times we're dealing with data. Where does that data come from? So let's make sure we understand SQL databases and how do we write SQL queries so we can extract that information. Power BI, another tool. Tableau, another one. These are all both very prominent in most organizations in terms of doing sort of data analysis and presenting that in sort of a graphical way. And then everything gets closed off with this Capstone project. And I think this is a really exciting, perhaps the most exciting part of the program, is that Simplilearn and Purdue have built out some very sort of contemporary, very topical projects that you will get to choose from. Okay, so you get a number that you can look at and ask, okay, is this a good fit for me? Am I interested in this? And then you'll build out a project with the support of your instructor. And then that will be something, once it's completed, you can use to showcase to potential employers, your current employer, that you really know how to take these techniques and apply them. And then in addition, there's all these rich electives you can choose to take as well. So you see there's master classes and Scrum Master and digital transformation courses, lots of very, very exciting courses that you can just add on to this. So you've got this core foundation, these stepping stones that get you to the point you can kind of demonstrate your skills with the Capstone project, and then these electives that really just strengthen your learning and knowledge, so you become very well-rounded, very ready to take on this role.
Thank you so much, Brian, for taking us through the learning part of the program. Also, I think you've already mentioned of electives. So electives are a part of the program, but they're optional. It is up to you if you want to take them up. Moving on to the tools and frameworks you'll be learning in the program. So, Brian, if you can share your basically comment on the most important tools, for a business analyst.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's funny, we've done this session many times in the past, and I noticed we're starting to see some new tools emerge. So we're seeing ChatGPT, we're seeing Bard, but things to also recognize. I think most of us are familiar with Excel. Jira is a work management tool. As a business analyst, this is where you store things like your user stories and those acceptance criteria and the tasks. So Jira is also going to be really valuable for you to develop some skills within. You see some of the tooling, Power BI, R. So R is sort of a data-oriented programming language. MySQL, Tableau, again, all these are tools that are used extensively in the largest companies in the world. So it's great to have some exposure and practice with them. And then notice at the bottom, we've got some additional certifications. So you got the CBAP, that Certified Business Analysis Professional certification, which is sort of a core component of being a business analyst, but also your Exxon Agile Scrum Foundation and Scrum Master. So you're going to leave with this with so many great certifications. You might have a hard time putting them on your LinkedIn profile, but that's great. That's going to make you much more appealing both to either your current employer or prospective employers you want to work with.
Well, that sounds pretty interesting. I think especially the AI tools, right? I think you've already shown a preview of ChatGPT there, how you can use it for business analysis. Moving on to the Capstone projects. I think highest amount of votes, when we did that poll, right? What exactly is stopping them from becoming a business analyst here? So they have basically shared that, they will not get the practical exposure. So how exactly, first of all, this program is helpful in providing these projects? what exactly are the Capstone project and how exactly it helps a learner, build that portfolio. I think we've gotten a few comments about that in the chat as well. The portfolio is really helpful. You need a very powerful portfolio.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think Capstone projects are a great way to demonstrate how you take these skills and these tools, bring them together to really address a very topical problem or challenge. And often these are based on existing companies that are have either dealt with or working on these challenges. So yeah, I think it's one of and this is really where I think Purdue, Capgemini, and others have really stepped in, because you've got that real world practical experience. So you take the training that Simplilearn is so good at ensuring, is delivered effectively to new learners, and then partner that or pair that with these real world examples that these other organizations like Purdue can bring into the program.
Awesome. And we also have these projects, which they get to work on case studies and projects with real business implications. Similarly, we have gotten one more question about this. Basically, what are these projects, which are, presented in the program? So maybe you can just, share some comments on these projects as well.
Yeah, I mean, not that we need to go maybe too deep into any of these, but I think it gives you a flavor pretty quickly of what some of these Capstone projects and case studies are going to look like. So we've got, hospital management system for the Mayo Clinic. Mayo Clinic is probably one of the most renowned health care and health management organizations in the entire world. So they're, obviously complex management hospital system. Requirements are going to be really important about that in that space. So that's a great area to focus on. Amazon, well, who isn't familiar with Amazon? So here we've got a scenario where we're struggling with customer satisfaction in Singapore. Okay, let's get an analyst in there, kind of understand what's going on. Let's think a bit about how we can improve customer satisfaction. Pearson, so Pearson is building out its education products and solutions. You might not be super familiar with Pearson, but it's used extensively, particularly in more traditional schooling, university settings. And then Unilever, which is just a massively monstrous company with lots of products, employees, and how do we leverage this canteen ordering system in an online portal? So these are, these are examples of and there's more. These aren't the only ones that you'll get a chance to choose to work on as part of that Capstone project.
That sounds pretty interesting. What I'll do is I also share the link towards the program, so you can also download the brochure and check out so many other interesting case studies and projects which are covered in the program. I'll share the program link shortly. But before that, let me quickly take you through the learning environment of the program. So just a second, let me. Sorry. Meanwhile, folks, we have already started addressing your queries in the Q&A box. In case, please go and check out, first of all, the address queries. And if you have any follow-up questions, please do let us know. So, I'm just quickly sharing my screen. I'm just logging into the LMS. Yeah, so this is the learning management system by Simplilearn, and this is for the postgraduate program in business analysis by Purdue University. And you can start the program here. And once you basically enter into the program, you will be the first thing you'll be seeing is how you can unlock the certificate. So you need to complete at least 65% to unlock the certificate, and or you need to pass at least 2 course and projects from 2 different courses. About the cost of the program, I'll be touching upon that. I see a lot of questions about that. And all the learning basically details we have covered can be found here, the learning path. I shared the program link as well for the brochure. So you can see that it starts with the induction, and it is not just self-learning videos. Self-learning videos are just a part of the program to be able to help you, clear a few basics here. I'll maybe share one of them here, but it is majorly like live classes where you get to interact with the instructor and your fellow peers as well. Let me do one thing. Let me just quickly open one of them, and one of them for you. Yeah, maybe this one. Yeah, this has labs as well. Yeah. So as you can see, the first one here are the self-learning videos, and you can see the section here of self-learning videos. Maybe let me just quickly play one of them for you. I'll just play it for like a minute or so.
In this topic, we are going to get introduced to the concepts of stored procedures and triggers in MySQL. Let's dive right in. Let us look at the basics of stored procedures. A stored procedure can be defined as a collection of precompiled SQL commands in a database. A stored procedure consists of name, parameter list, and multiple SQL statements. When a procedure calls itself, then it is called a recursive stored procedure. Let us look at the different parameters of stored procedures. First parameter that we are going to talk about is the procedure name. It refers to the name of the stored procedure that we are using. Second is declaration section, which refers to declaration of all variables. And the last one is executable section. It specifies which section of code is executable.
So this is just an example of the self-learning videos, and there are plenty of them here. And then the live classes. So currently, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it because already the cohort is going on, and then there is an upcoming cohort which will be sharing it with you. But I'm just giving you an example that you can basically offer live classes here. This is a global program, so you'll be seeing a lot of timing of the classes available for basically all regions. And you can see the available classes upcoming here, and you can basically add those there, and you will be able to see what are the classes you're attending ongoing and the ones you have attended here in the past classes sections. And for assessments, you have an SQL test paper one here, and you have a course and project as well. As we mentioned, it's a hands-on learning, mostly, and another course and project which you have here. You'll be able to see reference materials as well, lab guide, ebooks, data sets, SQL workbench, work installation guide, and the practice labs here. So what exactly are these practice labs? So this is actually a virtual lab environment for your hands-on practice. And you can basically, access the lab here through this practice lab and launch the lab using this. So yeah, this is just to summarize the learning part, one of the learning parts which I've shown you. You can see the Capstone projects here as well. There's a live learning there as well. Live classes happen for that as well to help you with the Capstone projects, and the electives here. Electives you can find here. You can see AI-powered business analysis, one of the new additions here, and the AI tools, and the certificate. And there's a help section here which helps you 24/7. In case you have any questions, you can just go to the help section, and you should get a reply within a few minutes. It can be anything about the certificate, about the labs, the projects, the assessment, or the live classes. So any issue you're facing, we will be able to help you out with that. So this is just to summarize quickly about the learning environment. Now moving back to the slide here. And also, we have global leaders as program advisors. I think you have already seen Brian Campbell here. He's one of the global leaders, part of the program. And we also have Dr. Ziyu Zhu, who's a clinical assistant professor at Granite School of Management, Purdue University. He has 15 plus years of experience leading business analytics functions at global reinsurance companies. We also have Jeff Allen, who is a project management and agile expert, consultant, author. He has 15 plus years of experience at large companies like Compaq and HP. And mention again like Brian Campbell, you can clearly see, So basically these global leaders make sure that, Simplilearn is delivering as per Purdue University's, standards here, and also quickly sharing the learner outcomes of the program. So interestingly, the previous classes have consisted of learners coming from excellent organizations and diverse industries. They come from IT, manufacturing, BFSI, consulting, pharma and healthcare, and many others, and also the diverse companies they come from, like Accenture, Barclays, Mercedes-Benz, and BCG, JP Morgan Chase, Shell, Deloitte, LinkedIn, NASDAQ, Microsoft, Oracle, Nestle, just to name a few of them among hundreds of them. Now that we're talking about the learner profiles here, right? I just wanted to quickly show you the numbers as well. So what are the numbers of jobs available for a business analyst role as of today? So on LinkedIn, I opened a worldwide search here for business analyst role, as you can see here. And we can see almost 26,000 plus results here as of today for the role here. You can see it ranging up from a senior business analyst role to a principal business analyst for basically all the sectors, we have spoken about. Goldman Sachs, Citi's hiring, Accenture, you can see Amazon. So yeah, so you can basically check out these openings as of today worldwide. You can see Microsoft is also hiring. So yeah, and also for Indian region, as we have gotten a lot of folks from Indian region as well. So as of today, there are almost 14,000 plus jobs available in the market for business analyst job roles, ranging from like all types of career categories here and number of years of experience as well. You can check out a lot of companies which are hiring here. And also similarly, dice.com. I'm just showing an example quickly. I cannot cover all the regions here, but I'm trying to show as much as possible to give you an idea what exactly is happening, as of today, how many jobs are there for this role. For this dice.com is mostly for US. So you'll be seeing 2,000 plus jobs are there. And you can see companies which are hiring here, Venturesoft Global and NASCOM. And yeah, and just quickly scroll through the jobs which are available here. Yeah, just to quickly show you what are the jobs here available, just to browse through it. So you have an idea what kind of amount of hiring is going on, what is the industry growth here. So yeah, just to quickly give an example, I've just given example, not just talking about, these companies or, learners. Also, the learner reviews here, what are the learners saying? So VR Tran shares here that I was keenly looking for a change in my domain from business consultancy to IT business analytics. This postgraduate program in business analysis course helped me achieve the same, and I'm proficient in business analysis now, and I'm looking forward to job profiles that suit my skill set. Kevin here shares that I'm happy to share that I completed my postgraduate program in business analytics offered by Simplilearn and per university. After 7 months of dedicated training, it was incredibly insightful with a unique real-world projects. Now, also let's hear it from the alumni himself, right? So Carlos will be sharing his upskilling journey, how a professor, bridged his skills gap. So I'm just quickly going to play this video for you. Before playing, I just want to also quickly check if it is audible to you or not. So I'm just going to play this video. And just let me know if it is not audible to you. You can just reply by sharing yes or no in the chat here. So if it's audible, just share yes. If not audible, share no. So I'll just quickly check.
We're being passionate about learning new things and improving my teaching skills. About what?
Great. I see a lot of responses of yes here. So I'll start from the starting. It's a very quick video. And yeah, I'll just play it.
I have always been passionate about learning new things and improving my teaching skills. About 5 years ago, I realized that I have a gap in my knowledge. And to fill the gap, I needed to upskill myself. I chose Simplilearn as my upskilling partner because of its comprehensive curriculum and its connection with Purdue University. Hi, my name is Carlos Linares. I live in Lexington, the state of Kentucky, in the United States. I am an assistant professor at Midway University, and I hold a PhD in management, human resources, and leadership. I decided to opt for the post-graduation program in business analysis from Simplilearn, which has helped me a lot in my professional and personal life. I had been teaching even before I moved to the United States 11 years ago. I tried to use Excel while teaching research classes, but since I only had the basic knowledge about it and other business intelligence tools, it was very difficult for me at the beginning. But after completing this class, learning how to use tools like Excel, Tableau, Power BI, Power Query properly, I feel like it has been a total game changer for me. Now I apply these skills everywhere, which has also helped me a lot in my yearly review. I submitted all my certificates to my university, and based on that, my university plans to develop a class focused on business analysis starting in fall 2023. And I am really excited. When I finally decided to go for an online program, I researched a lot. And finally, I chose Simplilearn. And I must say, it has been a wonderful experience. If you see how the business world is changing now, skilling yourself is quite essential to keep up with the change. Everything works on numbers. Data is more valuable and important than ever. So I encourage you to keep learning and keep growing.
So that's the story of Carlos, how he exactly, bridged his skills gap through the program. So thank you so much for, listening to that. And now
Step into Wix Studio, the platform for
sorry. So yeah, so moving on to the next slide here. We also talked about the job assist services you'll be getting from the program in the starting, right? So what are these job assist services? So we have partnered with Talent Inc. for the US candidates and IM Jobs for Indian candidates. And through this job assist services, you get access to the job portal with a wide employer network, which has a verified job search. And with the membership you'll be getting, your profile also will be highlighted to your potential recruiters. And also you'll be getting resume review and rewrite services. And SME will be assigned to you who will help you with preparing this resume and with continuous feedback sessions. You should be able to get a final output within 2 weeks. And also they will be providing one-on-one interview service with these partnerships, where you get similarly assigned an SME for practicing for an interview based on the skill set or job role you are applying for. And also there'll be continuous feedback here as well to help you out improve as well. Just would quickly like to sum it up. Would you be interested in enrolling into the postgraduate program in business analysis by Purdue University? I'm launching a quick poll here, and you can reply by responding yes to the poll. And I'll be quickly taking you through the enrollment steps after this and sharing the program fee, the upcoming schedule as well, and also sharing the program link for downloading the brochure of the program as well. After this, the learning consultants from Simplilearn will be reaching out to you, and they will be taking you through a much more detailed walkthrough about the program as well. In case you have any questions, they'll be helping you addressing them as well. And in case you want to go and quickly enroll yourself, I'll share the link towards the program with you here as well. So let me just quickly go and open Simplilearn and search for the business analysis program here. This is the program we have just covered. You can go and download the syllabus from here. So all the details we have covered. I'm sharing the link on the chat with you. I see a lot of folks are responding on the chat, yes, as well. Please make sure on YouTube as well. For folks who have joined us on Zoom, please make sure that the poll which is live right now, would you like to enroll into the program? Please make sure to respond yes on that particular poll. And folks who are watching us live on our YouTube channel, for you folks, you will be seeing on the top, there is on the live chat, you will be seeing, a postgraduate program in business analysis. You will see basically on the top, the link. Either you can click on that link, or you can go on the description, and on the top itself of the description of this YouTube video, you'll be seeing the link towards the program, which I've just shown. So you can go to that link, and on that page itself, it will ask you for a few enrollment details. You can go and quickly fill down your details there. And similarly, the learning consultants will reach out to you and help you enroll into the program. So please do that for folks. A lot of you folks who are responding yes on the YouTube live chat box, you can quickly go to the description of the YouTube, this video, and click on the description. And on the top, you will see the link towards the program. And a lot of you folks who have already responded, yes, thank you so much for that. We'll be moving towards the enrollment steps quickly. We have exceeded the time by a bit. So let's quickly close the poll. Last 10 seconds for the poll here. And I see, Brian, you have managed to answer all of the questions here in the Q&A box. So we'll just quickly summarize it as well once we're done with enrollment steps. So again, like, this is really a good time to go and put down your questions. We have only a few minutes left. Yeah, I've already shared the link on the chat. I'll share it once again. It should work. I let me just open it for you. I just use the same link to open it. So yeah, you can see it on my screen. So this is the link. It should work if you open it. This is the program page link. I've just shared one with you, but there are plenty of them. So yeah, you can go and check out here. Awesome. Last 5 seconds for the poll here. I see most of you have responded. So would you be interested in enrolling into the postgraduate program in business analysis by Purdue University? Last 5 seconds, folks. Respond yes on the poll. And for folks on YouTube, go to the description, and on the top, you will see the link to enroll. Go and share your details there. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let me quickly end the poll. Thank you so much for sharing your interest towards enrollment. And also, okay, the link is not opening for you folks. Let me just quickly go back. It should open, I think. I'm just sharing it again once here and also opening it. I'm opening it right in front of you. I think you should be able to open it. If not, please don't worry. We'll be sending it to you on mail as well, post webinar. So please don't worry about that. Now moving on to the enrollment steps of the program. So there are 3 simple, easy steps you'll have to follow for enrolling to the program. So this is just to give you an overview of what exactly will happen after this. So the learning consultants will reach out to you from Simplilearn, and they will basically take you through these 3 simple, easy steps. So the step 1 here is submit an application. So you'll have to submit at askus@simplilearn.net. Step 2 here is your application will be going for review based on the details you're submitting and eligibility and criteria we have. And after that, you'll be getting admissions offer from the from Simplilearn's learning consultants. And yeah, when is the next upcoming cohort? I think a lot of questions about that. So the induction for the next upcoming cohort is on 20th June, and the classes for this one will be starting on 6th of July. And yeah, we do have limited seats. You can go and check out in the link as well, which I've shared. In case the link is not working, you can also just check out our mail. You will be receiving a mail from us shortly, and you will be able to see the details about the program as well. Not sure like what is the issue here. Also the program fee here. So the program fee for US candidates is $3,499. And we also have EMI and financing options available depending on the region you are joining us from. You can check out the program landing page for that, or also nudge our learning consultants from Simplilearn to help you out navigate that. And also for Indian region, the fee here is 1,08,000, including taxes, INR. And we also have financing options available there as well, 3,675 INR rupees per month. Also, even after the webinar, you can reach out to us at askus@simplilearn.net. I'll share that email ID on the chat here, but meanwhile, we have exceeded the time a bit. So Brian, if I know you have addressed a lot of questions here already, I think most of them. So can you just quickly summarize for our learners here?
Sure. Yeah, there were lots of great questions. Thank you, everyone, for being so engaged and asking your questions. I did the best I could to get them all answered. Yeah, I think a lot of people are just interested in where could they get opportunities with the business analysis background. Great news is every industry and almost every organization is going to leverage these skills. Had an interesting question. Someone asked, what's the difference between a business analyst and a product manager or product owner? You're right. There's a lot of overlap there. Some organizations choose to use the title of product owner. And if that's the case, a business analyst set of skills will be very effective in that role. And then I think a lot of people are also interested in saying, hey, I'm kind of new in my career. Will this help me? And the short answer is absolutely. You're going to walk out of this with so many certifications. You're really going to be able to demonstrate to employers that you know how to apply these skills. And it'll be a great way to get those entry-level opportunities that you can grow your career through. So yeah, great questions. Thank you, everyone. I think there was the only question I wasn't able to answer, I think, was the one on the certificate from Simplilearn or Purdue, and I believe it's a little of both, but you might be able to answer that better, Rasha.
Let me just quickly look at. It will be both. So it will be accredited by Purdue University in collaboration with Simplilearn. I'll just quickly show you if you want the certificate, how it looks like. I'll just quickly go back. Yeah,
Rasha, I'm probably going to need to drop in a few minutes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you for taking us through such an interesting topic, and also for the program review. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure hosting you, and have a good day. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Fantastic. All right, good luck, everyone, and yeah, feel free to tag me in LinkedIn and connect with me too. That'd be wonderful.
Yeah, I'll share the details on the chat with them. Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you. Okay, for folks who are waiting for the certificate here, also I saw a lot of folks are basically facing an issue with link, right? So right now you can see a barcode on my screen. If you scan this from your mobile, you should be basically able to go to the program page link for folks who are facing an issue. Just quickly scan it. I'll just give 10 seconds. You can quickly scan it from your mobile, or if you've joined from your mobile, you have to take a screenshot and then go to it. So whatever works for you. And this should help you, go to the program landing page, which a lot of you folks were not able to click on it. So I hope this resolves the issue. And quickly moving on to the webinar poll after this, because I know a lot of you folks have been waiting for that. So I'll need your full name in order to send you the personalized webinar certificate. So just wait for that few more minutes, and then we will close the session. Please let me know if the barcode is working for you. I hope it is taking you to the program landing page. You can just reply by responding yes or no, just to help out others. Awesome. So folks who for whom the basically link is not working, please scan this barcode and it will take you to the program landing page. Please do that. Awesome. Last 5 seconds for this, then I'll move to the webinar poll. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, moving on. Yeah, before the webinar poll, also would love to know how was the session for you. So basically, how satisfied are you with the content of the session? I'm launching a poll and you can rate us 1 out of 5. And 5 being the highest if you're extremely satisfied. So just quick 5 seconds for the poll, and then we move on to the webinar poll. Thank you so much for having patience and basically being there in the session. We extended the session by a few more minutes. So yeah. Let's give it 5 seconds. I see you folks are pretty quick here. 5 seconds for the reading poll, and how satisfied are you with the content of the session? How was the session for you? You can rate us out of 5, 5 being the highest if you are extremely satisfied, if you found the session really interesting. And so yeah. Awesome. I see most of you have responded for the poll here. So last 5 seconds for the poll here. How satisfied are you with the content of the session? And you can see the poll live, and you can rate us out of 5, 5 being the highest if you're extremely satisfied. And also I see a lot of suggestions here. I see good, interesting topic suggestions for webinars. For that, we have a post-webinar survey with just one question: what we can do to make our webinars better. And I actually look into these basically feedbacks you share, the topics you want us to cover, and actually we come up with these interesting webinar topics as well through that. So your feedback matters, and you can go and share your feedback there in the post-webinar survey feedback. Awesome. I'll be ending the poll now. Thank you so much, folks. Thank you for sharing your rating here. Now quickly launching the poll for the webinar certificate name. So I'm just launched the poll. The poll which will read: to receive a proof of attendance for the webinar, please enter your full name as you wish to appear on the certificate. The poll is launched, and you can write your full name as a short answer and submit it quickly. So I'll just give maybe let's give it some time. You can quickly go and fill it, and yeah. I see a few questions about how are we going to get the certificate. You need to basically fill the certificate poll, which is live right now, and you have to enter your full name. Please make sure there is no grammatical error or incorrect name there. Please make sure your name is correct, and that is what we will need to send you the certificate. And also you will be receiving the certificate within 24 to 48 hours, and also a separate mail for the recording link. A lot of you folks still who have not been able to access the program page landing page to download the brochure, you should be able to receive the program details over your email as well. So you can check it out there as well. So yeah. Awesome. I see most of you have responded for the poll. So last 5 seconds. Last 5 seconds for the webinar certificate poll. To receive a proof of attendance for this webinar, please enter your full name as you wish it to appear on the e-certificate. The poll is live right now. Please immediately go and submit your full name. So last 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So thank you so much for your full names here. Thank you so much, everyone. And I will have to end the poll now. And thank you so much. Thank you for being an amazing audience. Thank you. We have a post-webinar survey which will pop up now once I end the session. Please leave a feedback. Please share any suggestions you might have about the topics you want us to cover, not only this category, other categories as well. And yeah, we'll try to come up with such more interesting webinars for you. I have also shared a link towards early access to all the webinars here. You can check out here in case you're able to click this link. And thank you so much for being an amazing audience. Thank you, everyone. And so many interesting questions from you folks. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good night, good day, good morning, wherever you're joining us from. Thank you so